For those of you that want to save the world, go make a bunch of money and then go save the world. Or more recently, the last 4, 5, 6 years, I've said, figure out a system, a process, a procedure, an invention that changes 1 billion lives, and you'll become, a multi-billionaire, i.e. Facebook, Zuckerberg.
Fun part in your life?
I'm having fun right now. I love what I do. Most of you in this audience don't like what you do. That's why, with the greatest respect, that's why Michael can help you. Most of the people on the 87, Gallup poll did a survey in 2016. 87% of the people on the planet, not counting all the Biafra, Ghana, Kenya kind of countries, 87% of the planet hate what they do. They've checked out. They're just taking up time, waiting for retirement. I'm sure some of you in this room can relate to that. 87% have checked out. Now, to me, if you've checked out, I mean, what the hell? Jesus. And you're all going to live older. 70 is the new 50, they tell me. I don't even feel 50. I feel 30. I act 30. I got more energy than probably the whole room. Because I love dragging you sorry guys and gals across the goal line. My wife, lovely wife Sally, says the reason I have arthritis in my back is because you're getting heavy now that I'm getting older, dragging you across the goal line. But I will kick, spit, slap. I will do whatever it takes. And when I say I do whatever it takes, I mean it. I will insult you, your mother, your religion. I know how to get you to the top of the podium at the Olympics. Not for a bronze medal, not for a silver, but for a gold. If we're not going for gold, don't waste my time. This young kid that came to me a year and a half ago, his goal, his dream in his life was to finish #1 university champion archer in Britain. What's the best you've ever done? 20th in a regional meet, he says to me. So we set up a program and I beat him like a rented mule. That's him receiving the first place a couple months ago in Britain. The little skinny shit. He looks like a little Nimrod snowflake, because he is. But he was firing 600-700 arrows a day. Most of you couldn't fire 50. Most of you in this room have never been held accountable for anything in your life. And look at the result.
You do to build self-confidence and self-esteem.
You are who you hang around with. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. The first self-esteem is built the first 7 or 8 years of life. Who are you around the first 7 or 8 years of life? Mom, maybe dad, older brother, uncle, a grandmother, right? What the hell do they know about building self-esteem? They don't know anything. And now, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Who do you go hang with? Who do you chill with? And he and I, we disagree about a few things, but Bill Gates doesn't hang. Steve Jobs, who I knew, didn't chill. Warren Buffett doesn't hang. Elon Musk doesn't hang. And I go down the list of people that don't hang. Very few people are happy with what they're doing. And if you want to build self-esteem, deal with people that have high self-esteem. When I was growing up, contrary to what you were growing up, I'm 13 years old and I'm wrestling with lions. That's me and Jackie the Lion from the MGM, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. That's the first lion, Jackie. So I'm not afraid of animals. To this day, I'm wrestling. My mother's over here out of camera screaming and yelling, afraid that the lion is going to eat me. And then fast forward 40, 50 years, there we are with tigers. You can see Sally in the background there. Yes, people get hurt on these things. Yes, people get killed on these things. That's why there's only 3 people in that picture. And Sally and I went trekking with the lions a few years ago. Because I'm continuing to push the envelope. I never want to be comfortable doing anything. If you're in sales, make 300 cold calls a day. 300 cold calls a day.
300 cold calls a day.
Correct.
Will it still work nowadays?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
We got kids doing it right now.
Question.
We even got some lazy Dutch kids doing it right now.
Just pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Make
And
the
I
call.
mean, for a Dutch kid, 24 years old, to make 20 cold calls a day, you'd think it's a big deal. There's nobody teaching sales in this country that I'm aware of that tells you to make 300 cold calls a day. In fact, there's nobody on the planet that I'm aware of that tells you to make 300 cold calls a day. I had a guy just do a $50 million deal. He said, Dan, if you had just told me I was 2,000 cold calls away from my first deal, I would have sent you a check for 20 grand and said thank you, and I wouldn't have come to the castle. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what if you could accomplish in the world today if you weren't afraid? If you weren't afraid of what people thought of you, said about you, whispered about you, what could you accomplish? A lot more than you've accomplished today. A lot more. Why do we care what people think? Why do we care what people say? And more importantly, why do we care what people whisper? Because we have no self-worth. We have next to little self-esteem. And we have no self-confidence. And how do we get that way? Yes, mommy and daddy. Life expands and contracts with courage. When was the last courage type thing that you did in your lifetime? Walk against a red light? Whisper that your spouse, your significant other, is a bitch or a bastard? When was the last time you exhibited some courage? Some of you have to go back a long, long way. Some of you never. I said yesterday, I cannot believe that there are people in this audience that have never been spanked, never had a harsh word said to them by their parents, never got in a fight on the school grounds. I can't believe that. And you wonder why you are the way you are. Now, I'm not saying that being a high-performance person is beating the shit out of everybody, but it doesn't hurt. But if you believe in yourself, I had to go Obama again. I had a dream. I'm running down Torrance Boulevard, 1983, and I had just looked at a magazine called The Robb Report, which I recommend that you all subscribe to. And it had castles on islands, and I said, I'm going to buy a castle on an island. That was March 83. I moved into the Guthrie Castle, September 184. Had no way to pay for it. Didn't have I had a pot to piss in. But 15 months later, was that 15 or 17 months? Anyway, from March to September 1 the next year. So I had an Obama moment. And I wasn't even cracked up. I had a dream. So even though I make fun of these guys that have a dream, but I've had it myself. But if you don't have a dream, guess what? It can't come true. And you're never going to exceed your highest expectation. You will never, for those of you that want to make $1 million, you're never going to make 1,000,001. And life is not a journey. It's only if you're a meathead, clubfoot retard. And for those of you, I'm not trying to, if some of you have issues with retardation, I'm not trying to, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. It's a model. You find someone, as I said yesterday where he or she is where you want to be. And then you model them. You mimic them. You copy them. Same way you would if you want to be a footballer. Same way you want to be if you want to be a golfer. You don't copy some monkey that can't break 100, do you? Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle had this figured out 2,000 or 3,000 years ago. What the happened? Why did we stop? These are arguably the first mentor-mentee relationships that existed on the planet. I'm not teaching anything new, guys, gals. I give credit to the man that I copied, Andrew Carnegie. Came up with the QLA model and didn't call it QLA because he could have been Dutch, really. He was a mean, cheap person that didn't want to spend money, so he didn't allow equity in his transactions. He only used debt, as you would say, debt. So he would still own it all. And that's all I did. He was doing this 140 years ago, what I do. All of you guys probably had bicycles with trainer wheels, right? On the little wheels on the side of the bicycle when you ride it and you didn't fall off. And then when your parents took the trainer wheels off, what happened? You fell over on your head. And what did your mother probably, and maybe your father, oh, poor baby, and rub your head? When I fell off my bike, my dad hit me. You little weenies, get up. Stand up, stop crying.
Smart man.
Yeah, I mean, man up. And now look at me. I mean, I wish love got the job done. I swear to God I do. But it doesn't. And God doesn't get the job done either. God helps those who help themselves. You've already read, some of you, that I am the creator of Teenage Multimillionaires from scratch. And the mentee that's the CEO of the largest deal in recorded history, the $500 billion deal, NEOM, the city of the future. I created them both. Just like God with clay, with these two hands. I made them just like God. And everybody in between, which covers everybody in this room. Teenage multimillionaire, no school, no high school, no junior high school, no college, 17 years old. Why not you? The answer is it could be you. But he's a hard-working, 140-hour-a-week worker. Not an 80. A good drink and a stiff kill everybody in this room. And you're nodding your head, yeah. But some of you will just settle for the good. Most guys come to me because I'm the alpha male father they never had. Most young guys come to me because they can't get their willy wet. Now what the f*** the world come to? You got to come to a raging, crazy old man, 72 years old, to get your willy wet. What's happened? Almost everything bad. That's what's happened.